Good day, everyone. My name is Ina, and today I am excited to share some practical tips for success in project planning. We're going to focus on the three key elements that can make or break any projects, and that is purpose, focus, and audience. So, whether you're working on a school assignment, maybe a team project, or maybe launching something completely new, having a clear plan grounded in these three elements will set you up for success. So, now let's dive in and explore how getting clear on why, staying focused, and knowing who you're creating for can take your project from good to great. Today, I want to talk to you something we often overlook, but that's absolutely essential to get right. That's the project planning. So more specifically, we're looking into how clearly understanding your purpose, narrowing your focus, and even defining your audience can dramatically boost both of your project's impact and its long-term sustainability. And this is not just about a theory. There are real-world field tested strategies used in successful health campaigns, education initiatives, and even community outreach programs. So when we lock in on the three elements, again, the purpose, the focus, and audience, everything else in the project starts to fall into place. So let's take a closer look at what each one means and why it matters. Let's face it, too many projects fail not because the idea is bad, but because they did not start with a strong plan. So when you're planning to connect your big idea with practical steps, things run smoother. Your team wants to do your audience knows what's coming, and your time and money aren't really wasted. So good planning also supports sustainability. Like a project that's planned well doesn't just launch and disappear. It sticks. It keeps working even after your team steps back. Purpose isn't a list of what you'll do, it's change you're aiming for. So, saying conduct a seminar, for example, is an activity, but saying reduce dengue cases in Malamok by 40% in 12 months. Well, apparently, now that's a purpose, right? So, it tells everyone what success actually looks like. It gives your team direction. If your purpose isn't clear and outcome based, it's easy to waste time on busy work. So according again to one of our example here to DOH 2023 guidelines, the projects that stuck essentially in health campaigns were the ones that started with a purpose like this, not just activities, but again, real targets. So let's break down what is the difference between purpose and objectives. So purpose is the destination of your objectives are the stops along the way. So let's say your purpose is to boost the kindergarten enrollment in Barangay San Jose by 25%. That's the bigger picture. But now, what are the smaller actions to support it? One clear objective could be reach 150 parents ages around 18 to 35 with early education information through house visits by July. So that was very specific, right? It has a number, it has a timeline, and it focuses on behavior, getting parents to actually take interest and enroll their kids. So this kind of objectives keeps you focused. It also gives something to track later on, which makes evaluating your project even easier. A common mistake, trying to fix too many things in one focus. So focus is your chosen path. Again, not all the roads, just one that makes sense and gives you a better shot at real results. So let's say your purpose here is to improve again kinder attendance. So you could look at teacher training, school supplies, or even transportation. All good things, but maybe not all doable at once. So again, one of our example would be in the 2022 DepEd funded project in Nueva Ecija. They keep it very simple. Just focus on weekly home visits to parents. That one move, taken directly to families, help them hit their 20% attendance improvement goal. Focus doesn't mean doing less. It means doing what matters most. So now let's go to understanding your audience. You can change behavior if you don't understand who you are talking to. It's not enough to guess. Ask, let's say, what do they believe? What are they already doing? What's stopping them from doing what you're asking? So in our 2021 UNICEF example report looked at families in low income areas in Metro Manila. Many parents weren't refusing vaccines. They just didn't have a way to get to the health center. So it's the same in many settings. A program might think youth aren't interested when they really don't have internet accesses. Farmers might skip training sessions because it isn't really harvest time. So when you get things right, when you really listen to again your audience, your plan starts to work for people, not just on paper. Setting out behavior and base objective. So your plan should focus on behavior because that's how change sticks. So what do you want is to people to actually do? Maybe it's use mosquito nets every night, or maybe register their child for school before June. It's very specific, doable, and tied to a certain behavior. But behavior isn't just a decision. It is shaped by what people know, what they believe, and what's around them, like peer pressure or maybe access to services. So one of our example here would be again from 2020 WHO case from Vietnam found that showing short videos of real families adopting new habits worked better rather than just giving out facts. So people saw themselves in the stories and that changed what they did. So focus on what action you want rather than shaping the message to make it feel real, possible, and even worth doing. So even great ideas fall flat if you don't even ask the three things. So what are those? What's stopping people from acting? What do they think they'll gain from that? And what are they already doing instead? So if you are promoting clean water, for example, but soda is cheaper, as seen as cooler, you're not just promoting health. You are competing, right? So you're asking someone to switch habits, and they'll do that if the new option feels worth it. So here's a quick example. In one barangay waste program, people weren't separating trash because it took time. But once the barangay added a compost bins and made it a source of garden pride, participation tripled. So think of that, right? So always think from the audience point of view and be honest about the trade-offs they see. Next would be the influencers matters. In our every community, there are voices people already trust, and you don't always need a celebrity. It could be a midwife, a teacher, a church leader, or even maybe one of your housemates. Even a popular nanay who's active in the barangay. So in Honduras, early social marketing for ORS didn't land, but when the trusted midwives started explaining the product in a familiar way, people finally paid attention. So for example, in Davao, again, a waste segregation campaign in 2021 only took off when Tanods started playing a jingle through speakers during the barangay cleanup day. It felt local, it felt natural, it felt normal. So choose your messengers wisely. Again, you don't have to get a celebrity for that. And don't just hand them a script. Make them part of the story. Positioning isn't just a tagline, it's what your audience remembers or sometimes even repeats when they talk about your project. So, for example, here we have segregate waste to reduce landfill load. People will tune out, but if they say clean streets, healthier kids, that sticks. That hits something personal. Another example would be the also known brand C2. So they didn't lead with ingredients; they led with cool and clean. So apparently that works, right? Rather than us saying herbal green tea and antioxidant. I don't think that would even sound something. So use emotion, keep it very simple. Think more like a story and less like a checklist. So messages that feel true tend to spread faster than the ones that sound a bit smart. All right. So maybe to sum it up, purpose gives your project meaning, focus gives it shape, and your audience gave it to life. So don't try to fix too much at once. Pick the one path that really supports your goal. Know your audiences like you're trying to help a friend. What gets in their way, what they already believe, and who they listen to. So make your messages stick, short, clear, and tied to something that they already care about, and make sure it comes from someone they already trust. So small planning shift when done right can create real behavior change that doesn't just check a box, but it actually lasts. So there, thank you so much for listening. These are my references. Thank you.